Let's go watch it in 2D. No, let's go watch it in 3D. But if we watch it in 3D, then is it worth the cost?
We go full ahead! Put your backs into it!
Got everything I need right here with me. I figure life's a gift and I don't intend on wasting it. You never know what hand you're gonna get dealt next. You learn to take life as it comes at you.
When this ship docks, I'm getting off with you.
Hello, this is Adolf, and today I'm reviewing Titanic. And as always, I'll talk about the 3D element first. For a movie that was never originally intended to be 3D, Titanic looks beautiful and wonderful in 3D. Titanic has many nice moments of both pop-out and depth. And it has it all. 3D depth is especially strong in this movie, and it perfectly complements what's shown on screen. Some scenes in the movie will have characters running down a long corridor or looking down a vast height. And the 3D really helps you feel like you're in the movie with the characters. You get a sense that you're seeing what the characters are seeing, that you're there with them. Movie opens up in a scene that's underwater, and it's really dark. But it still looks beautiful in 3D. Because this scene, there's like water particles, and you're following like a robot exploring the depths of the ocean. And you really get a sense that you're in that ocean going there. And it's nice. It's pretty nice for something that's so darkly lit. And it's something that, of course, was made about 25 years ago. To look this nice in 3D, it was very nice. It was very enjoyable. And in many scenes, the 3D is not like a super big thing. A lot of times it's just natural. Like it's kind of how it always was supposed to be. This is a superb 3D conversion of a classic 2D movie. Now, there isn't perfection. There's some camera movements that are weird because there's some shaky cam here and there. And, some camera angles are kind of weird. But for the most part, I've really enjoyed the 3D aspect of this. There's one shot with keys, that has like a flashing light, and that was kind of hard. I'm not photosensitive in that way, but that scene had so many flashing lights, it was just like, okay. Now, the 3D really helps to make the final act so much more intense. Overall, the 3D looks fantastic in Titanic, and I absolutely recommend watching it in 3D if you can. If you can see it in large formats like IMAX, definitely try, because this is the kind of movie that really shines at the biggest screen possible. I feel like the 3D really complemented what you saw on screen and looked beautiful and wonderful. It's for a conversion of a 26-year-old movie, I don't see how it could be any better. So for me, this is a great 3D. Now, on to the movie itself. Titanic was a huge release in 1997 and 1998. And now, 25 or so years later, does it hold up? Now, believe it or not, for watching this movie for review, this was the first time I've seen this movie. And you're probably going to think, oh, well, you're a youngin'. You're probably like 20 years old. No, I'm not. I'm actually 39. I'm going to be 40 this year. And Titanic was a huge movie for people in my generation. It's transcended just being a film. It's part of popular culture now. Obviously I did not completely walk into this blind. I know what happened. This is part of the zeitgeist. So, just in case you don't know what's going on, Titanic is a love story between the characters of Ross and Jake. The love story is told by an elderly Ross in the quote-unquote present via flashbacks. The contemporary time is excavating the remains of the Titanic that was lost over the Atlantic Ocean. So maybe 75% or so, or vast majority at least, is set in 1912, and the other 25% is set in the contemporary time the movie was filmed. With the exception of the elderly Rose, the rest of the characters who are in this contemporary time, fairly one note and forgettable. I don't remember any of their names. I just know basic traits about these characters. It's more about Rose and her love story and her experience on the Titanic itself when she was there as a young woman. So Rose is, back in 1912, Rose, she is engaged to a rich man, but she's very frustrated in her life. She doesn't feel happy living in this lifestyle. She's not a regal person, and it just is not something that she craves or is happy in. On the other end, Jack is a charming artist who drifts around in life, and he just is going here, going there, and, trying to find adventure and trying to make his life. And they're a very unlikely pair, but they work well together. Rose's family and fiancé, are elitists, and they don't trust Jack at all. Now, Jack and Rose's steamy love affair is brilliantly executed on this doomed ship that is the Titanic. That's basically, in a nutshell, the whole story. Where Ross and Jack are the stars of the movie, the Titanic itself is a huge part of the film. The setting here really does make you feel like you're on the ship there. The Titanic is perfectly recreated on screen. It looks beautiful. It's a very distinct backdrop, and the sets are so well crafted. I just can't. I don't know how they filmed this back in 97, but it really looks beautiful. And it looks like this is a real place. Like, they built this whole damn ship in real life. So it's really incredible. Overall, give you a fantastic job of immersing you, the viewer, and making you feel like you're on the ship there with them. Like, I could almost smell the salt water in the air. This is pure movie magic, and how they're able to make a ship from 100 years ago feel new, beautiful, and like a real living place. It feels authentic. And that's the biggest and most wonderful compliment. It feels like it could actually exist. Like, this is not a set. This feels like an actual thing. Now, obviously, this is the first time I've seen this. So I didn't watch it in 98 or 97. And this is the quote unquote 4K restoration. But the movie is gorgeous to see and hear. I just love how many scenes, how it just brings the past to life. And the sound design, oh my God, seeing this in the theater was wonderful. And hearing this, because I could hear the cracking of the wood. I could hear the water surround me in the theater. It's just so well executed. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And all the costumes look fantastic and authentic. Everything looks like it should. And it looks beautiful. And now, some of the shots don't hold up. There's a couple panning and zooming out shots that they're really quick. That computer graphics do not hold up. It's obvious when you see it. It looks like a PlayStation 2 game, which in 2023, that is a very bad thing. Now, you see it and they look fake, but it's just like a couple seconds here and there. It didn't distract me. I was like, I did notice it. But overall, it's a gorgeous, beautiful movie that sounds wonderful. Now, I was really, really worried about this movie. And, it's come out 25 years ago, 26 or so, or whatever. And it's supposed to be set 100 years ago, and that it would feel obsolete or archaic, and that's weird, or that's whatever. And it holds up pretty damn perfectly. I was surprised. It holds up because it's such this love story works, and ultimately love stories can last, and the emotions and how people react is essentially the same. Now, I love how much of this is like a slice of human experience. It gives you a very distinct vision of humanity, and it's just like a slice of reality that's put onto film, for better and for worse. And you see things that have not fundamentally changed. You see the stark divide between the rich and the poor. You see the best and the worst in humankind. Titanic is a 3-hour movie, but I was never bored. I was like, holy crap, this went by fast. It feels so good. These characters are so likable. Rose and Jack are just amazing together. The chemistry is perfect. This love story works because they work together. Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio are wonderful here. It just feels like real people. The performances are immaculate. Like, I completely understand why they would fall in love, and how he's so charming, and how the situation that got them together worked. It just feels real, and it's believable. And the last act is extremely thrilling and terrifyingly scary. It's just a wonderful way to stimulate all of your emotions as a human being. Look, I really connected and resonated with this movie, and I gotta again give compliments to James Cameron. He knows how to make this work. How it just sucks you in, and it's just, I'm there. I love this story, and damn it, I cry like a baby. And it's a cry because it's a beautiful love story, and I cried at the horrific tragedy and loss of human life that I was seeing as I watched this movie. I never really doubted this was actually happening in front of me, which is incredible to say that it is something that was filmed 25, 26 years ago, or released 25, 26 years ago, and I don't know exactly how long it took to film, but still, it's one of those things where it just truly engrossed me, and I truly adore this movie. If you don't cry watching this movie, you're some kind of soulless, psychopathic monster, and I don't want to be in your company. I fully admit that I have been spoiled. I knew a lot of the stuff that was going to happen. It's part of pop culture. I can't avoid the spoilers after 25 years. So I knew this was going to happen, or that was going to happen, or the old saying, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, perfectly describes my experience with this movie. I knew the ending. I knew what was going to happen. I knew multiple story elements, and I still didn't care because I was engrossed into the story, and I was able to follow the story and love what was being shown to me. After all the memes and pop culture references and jokes over 25 years, I still love this movie. Watching this for the first time it's quite a meaningful and engaging experience to put onto film. It's so beautifully romantic and beautifully shocking to see how horrible some of the scenes are with so much death and suffering. The Titanic is a movie that I've been waiting 25 years to watch. And if you could just hear it through my how I'm sounding in my voice, it was worth the wait. How often can you really say that about a movie that you knew the spoilers in as you walked into the theater? And it's just so perfectly executed. It's so engaging. It's so exciting. It's so romantic and beautiful and touching. And this movie holds up 25, 26 years later, and I think it's going to hold up 100 years later, if not 1,000 years from now, because epic stories like this are timeless. This is the perfect movie for me. It perfectly captures a human experience onto film. There's so much depth here. You could rewatch this 100 times, and it's like, oh yeah, this and that, and I could just see so much there. It perfectly captures the experience of human life, the good things and the bad things, and it's just one of the best movies of all damn time. It's incredible. And I was so happy and sad as I left the theater. Happy I finally got to see it. Sad about the situation that happened there, but it's a beautiful movie that is filmmaking at its best. And for me, watching this for the first time in the theater, in 4K, in 3D, I loved it. I loved it. And for me, it's a 10 out of 10 Editor's Choice Movie Award. This is one of the best damn movies of all time. So, yeah, love Titanic. That's going to be it for me. Bye. Before this podcast wraps up, I want to thank my patrons. Thank you, Kano3D, MK Ultra, Kevin Winter, Alex Folk, and Gravity Head Zero for your financial support on Patreon.com. You can find 3D or 2D on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, and more. Just look for 3D or 2D. Thank you for either listening or watching this podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye.